Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here and welcome back to another episode of Leicester Reborn. In today's episode, we will start with the World Club Championship final where we play Arsenal, who ended up winning the Champions League last year and have gone strength to strength in the save. With that being said as well, we'll also recap a couple of massive sales. It hasn't been anyone really on the ins, and we'll of course at the end of the episode, we'll look at our first month in the Prem, see how we went, and with that as well, also find out who we're going to get in the Champions League phase. If you are enjoying the content, give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm going to start with Arsenal, who I did write off last year in a team that I didn't think were going to be particularly great in the Champions League. Look, it's just a team that consistently does well. And last year ended up getting through and winning the Champions League final against Bayern Munich 3-2 in an absolute shell shock. They also beat Barcelona away from home. So maybe considering how we went in the Champions League last year, Arsenal may start favourites for this one. I don't think they do. If you look at the season preview, we are predicted to come top. They are predicted to come second. They do have a really strong squad. They still got Jesus, still got Havertz, still got Saka, still got Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White. Just shows that the team they currently have now in real life is really young and they're going to become fantastic. Ten Hag, obviously a fantastic manager. If you have a look at us, me and the game, for the first time in ages, have actually agreed on the same lineup. That would be my best starting lineup. I think Jose Marshall probably edges out Linus. But I might start Linus. Reyes and Bellingham probably end up playing together. Asan, Smith Rowe, Elise and Velez. It all looks pretty good. Secondly, we need to talk about sales, because sales have definitely happened. And, it is what it is. I'm going to start with the first one, and it's Alex Scott. Don't get me wrong, fantastic footballer. Wanted to keep him because he was homegrown, not going to lie. But he came to me and said, I want to be a star player here. Because I rejected a bid from City, and I was like, well, I don't think you are. I'm going to offer you out for what you're, tutored to be, which is 70 million. See anyone bites. Inter were the only team that bit. I rejected 40 million from City. Man United and Liverpool offered 50. I only accepted Inter and he left. Look, I do think 70 mil is great business. Yes, he's been fantastic, but he's been more of a bench player, especially with Smith Rowe, especially, a Bill Bork coming into it, as a 10. Kane Fuller, the Australian, is here, and if he's going to develop, probably needs to play for us. Now in the Prem. Don't get me wrong, great player, but to make a good amount of profit on him is sensational. Second one that's left was one that I didn't want to sell, but it paves the way for one of our potential prospects, and that's Luke Thomas, and it was to Manchester City. Probably just proves how good he is, Mr. Luke Thomas, as well as my phone's going off. I have not had one notification all morning, and then here we go. With that being said, Luke Thomas, great footballer, been at Leicester all his life, 44 mil from Manchester City, makes them a bit stronger, but he came to me and said, look, I want to leave, I've achieved everything, and at the same time he had a guy who unfortunately can't play today because he's just gone to international duty, and that's Kenneth, who has only played 2 games for us in the Community Shield, in the Club World Cup, and has got 3 assists already. The game already has him at 2.5 star at 18 years of age and a decent Premier League player. I just feel like suddenly Luke Thomas bringing a guy in that will become homegrown in 3 years' time for Premier League and Champions League. We could have the best left back in the world, and on Sam Carter levels in terms of right backs. With that being said, that's 2 massive ones on the out. Now, let's go and have a look how the Club World Cup has gone. We got drawn in Group F with Asante Koto. We won 7-0. They've made a change to the Club World Cup mercifully, or maybe it's just how it was situated this time around. Usually when you get into competition, you can't rest players and keep people fit because they're not training or on holiday, so the game doesn't read it. They actually made you come back from pre-season earlier so you could train. So with that being said, I went out and fully rotated against a weaker side. As you can tell here, everyone played quite well here. Reyes off the bench, I think, scored a couple and got an assist as well in that one. And then if you looked at this year, we played Sep, where we won 3-1. We went full strength against Real Madrid, only had 3 changes. Madrid were dead. Their AI, obviously, with a 2-day break, don't rest. We obviously did rest and we're quite full strength. I've also moved Bellingham to Segundo Volante on attacking. He looks good. Velez being Velez. As you can see, Majuka 2 assists against a Real Madrid side who, look, they lined up pretty well. They got Rashford, Vinicius, Jose Gaya, you name it. And then we played PSG. Our boy Silva was there as well. Game looks like it's frozen, which is interesting. We played Silva and we won 2-0 there. And, I don't know why the game is frozen. I've never seen it freeze. This is very odd. Well, that was weird, YouTube, but we are back. Now, can I see this 2-0 against PSG and it won't break? Okay, we're in. More importantly, Silva started up front for them. But yeah, we dominated 1-2-0. Majuka again. Real Madrid, PSG, and he's looked fantastic. So, really happy with him. The Jim played his first game, which was against Real Madrid. He had an injury to Livramento. He won't play today. He's actually going to play left back for the final because of Majuka being injured, Carter, and then the Jim there as well. But look, the team itself looks pretty world class, and let's get into it here. A couple people unregistered, like Kane Fuller's unregistered. Yaya picked up a big injury against PSG, or a 3-week injury. Tomori is suspended as well, and we've got a couple of people, one travelling and a couple of people unregistered. But with that being said, it's going to be Meslier, Carter, Linus, and Jose Marcha is going to be the one alongside him with the Gym. Great and Bellingham playing Segundo Volante on attack, just because he's so good going forward. Just release him, and Great sweeps up. We dominate most sides. I think in these bigger games, we could probably go to Segundo Volante on support, but we'll wait and we'll see. Elise, Smith-Rowe, and Velez has been Velez. He's been fantastic, and he's in this Club World Cup has got 6 goals in 3 games. And the thing with that is that does count, because this is a competition that does count towards the goal tally at the end of the season. So let's go out there, see how we go. Let's see how Arsenal line up. More importantly, if the AI rotated or rested or not. There was a 4-day break, so I expect them to be okay. And they are. They've gone Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Vukovic at left back. Actually looks like a pretty decent, well-rounded Serbian regen. Manu Kone, who just rejected Liverpool in the save, and Nunez, Saka, Odegaard, Jesus, and Havertz. A very, very, very real-life front four. Let's get into it. Here we go. Club World Cup. Would love to win it because, it's a competition that you can win, especially against the defending champions of the Champions League. So it'll be a nice marker to put down too. And look, we are the best team in England. We just can't win the Champions League. That's the issue. Anyway, good ball to Bellingham, and this is where I love him, and it's a good save, but Velez is there. We lead 1-0 through Luis Velez. More importantly, Bellingham. This is why I like Segundo Volante on attack. I just haven't had an out-and-out Segundo Volante on attack. Hassan picks up the ball here. Look at Bellingham just bombing on, getting past people, nearly finding the back of the net. It was a pretty decent save from Ramsdale. But look, Velez, right spot, right moment. 7 goals in the Club World Cup, and he didn't play against the side we won 7-0 against as well. Now, a free kick, and I'm going to say Odegaard is very good from free kicks, so we might need Meslier at the top of his form here. And he's not, and it's 1-1 just like that. We're pegged straight back immediately. Not good. Highlight from kickoff, which is good. Hopefully for us. Elise loses out, finds Gabriel Jesus. Picked up by Odegaard. We're going to concede 2 in a minute. No, Jose Marcha sweeps up very well. Linus, Marcha, Manuel Ugarte. I think we will commit to Linus playing most games this season. Samuel Carter. Good ball. Elise heads just over. 16 minutes in, been a good Club World Cup final. 16 minutes in, been a good Club World Cup final. Benjamin White. Son. Velez over the top. Oh, Ramsdale came a long way. He fouled his man. Ramsdale might go into the book here. Oh, wow. He's only been given a yellow card. I've barely ever seen a keeper get sent off. Back in the day, like FM14 used to run out their box and handball it. And then they used to get done. But yeah, free kick from Elise is world class. And that's in. We lead 2-1 for our own free kick. Well, Ramsdale kept on the park. I think that should have been red because he's around him and there was no one covering him, but it is what it is. Elise has popped it in, and like Meslier, Ramsdale gets hands on it, but it goes in the back of the net. We lead 2-1 in the final. We've been slightly the better team in terms of creativity. It's been even in possession. Arsenal have actually been really good against us in the save. They knocked us out of the FA Cup a couple of years ago in the semi. And if you did not watch last episode, we did win the FA Cup again in the save. We've been dominant, as I've mentioned, here in the English domestic competitions. Look, 45 minutes away from winning another competition, which means I've won every competition I've been part of, bar the Champions League, which is the one we really want. But Carter now, the ball to Elise. Velez is in the box. Elise cuts it back to Smith Rowe. Scores against his former club. Our front four are a delight. And that is another great finish. Inside 30 seconds, we get a 2-goal lead. And, well, it's fast looking like it's going to be our Club World Cup. You know, English football been dominant. Arsenal have won the Champions League and made the final here. And over the years, Liverpool have been really good. But maybe, just maybe, this is the marker that we're putting down to say it's our year, it's our time. Bellingham was the missing piece and off we go. But there's still a long way to go and Arsenal do have quality. Mateus Nunes looking for Manu Kone. Into Saliba. Smith Rowe wins it on the break. Velez is inside if he wants to find him. Instead, he goes himself to the byline and goes back to the gym, who we have not really seen much of, but that's a ball and a half. Velez is there, and unfortunately, I think it's come off Kone there, and it stayed out the back of the net. Oh, that's still going. And Saliba or Saka, that's a goal. Sorry, someone sent me a message about poker later on. I had to respond to immediately. But there we go, 3-2. Arsenal back in it. Goals galore, which, look, for a Club World Cup final very early on in pre-season, it's not bad. Saka gets goal side of the gym, who, obviously, this is a massive learning curve. If things were being equal, I wouldn't have started the gym. But the gym was the only real left-back option, unless I put Carter out there and put Ogbu maybe at right back. Anyway, Ramsdale saves, but it falls to Velez, and just like that's another one. It's 4-2, 6 goals in the Club World Cup final, 62 minutes played, and Velez from the corner heads, Ramsdale saves, and he pops it back home from the tight angle. He is world class, this boy. Bit lucky. Could have maybe been an own goal, Ramsdale, because it wasn't going in, but it would have been very harsh on the Arsenal goalkeeper. Now, Hassan picked off, get back, and won it, sorta didn't. Won it, sorta didn't. Yes, no, he did not, Damien. Anyway, Saliba, Kone, Odegaard, good in transition. Saka's in again. Oh, it's deflected and in. Wow. 4-3, that one wasn't deserved. I am going to bring an unfit Livramento in to try and help us see this out, because I just think we've been really, really poor. Manuel Ugarte on a booking and has been stinker. I'm going to bring in Lavia light for light. And I'm going to leave one last change to time waste with late doers. 65th minute, 4-3. Arsenal, I hate saying that we're unlucky in every final that we seem to have lost, but if you look at this, we've absolutely dominated and they've scored from a set piece, a deflected goal. Should really be 4-1 maybe. Melier shows good hands here. Livramento is going to come on for the gym, who's been leaked for the second time. They really should have bailed him out. Arsenal with 0.77 XG have scored 3 goals. What is new in a final with us conceding to no real big chances as Velez heads just over the bar from the corner again. We leave one change to time waste. You can only make 3 changes in the Club World Cup. With this one ticking away, Jude Bellingham might be the option that comes off unless they score right now, which Melier is not conceding from there, being a world-class keeper that he is. Melier throws out towards Livramento. Livramento finds a son, Odegaard. Big ball into Bellingham. Great touch, world class. There goes Carter. A chance to seal it, maybe. Velez's deflection doesn't go in. Saka's does. That being said, 85 minutes played. I think it's now time for Thuram to go in here and be a defensively minded midfielder and just sit with Lavia. Both don't move and really provide some more defensive cover. 27 shots, 14 on target, 3.17 XG versus Arsenal's under 1 goal XG, and they've scored 3. It's been a bit of an FMing that it's this close, but we currently still lead. But Arsenal have the ball back with 3 minutes left on the clock, and Max Aaron's bombs on. Saka cuts it, Odegaard. It's an equaliser for Arsenal. We've been absolutely FM'd. We have dominated the Club World Cup final, and Arsenal scored 4 goals with no XG. How much do we have to deal with in finals, Football Manager? Can we just get clean gameplay? Can we just have a statistical battle that equals a win? Every final. 17 shots, 10, but 1.59 XG. 2 of their goals absolutely putrid. We are now going to go into extra time. I am going to thrash my arms and tell them it was not good enough. We have dominated out here. We're allowed one extra substitution. Boys are a brick dead. I think Reyes can take a penalty, can he not? Reyes in the hole, even though I don't think he's great in the hole. Just mainly because he can take a penalty. Shouldn't have to be thinking of penalties. We've absolutely dominated Arsenal and it's 4-4. 1.62 XG. 2 of their goals. This is going to go to a shootout and we're going to lose, boys. I hope everyone knows this is going to go to a shootout and we're going to lose. Highlight in the 116th minute. Last time we went extra time in a final, Liverpool scored a deflected effort in the 118th. Is it about to happen? Well, Havertz wins it. Back to Mateus Nunes. Out to Tomiyasu, who hits one over the bar. "125th minute, throw in for Arsenal. They're going to give a penalty. Wow. Throw in, Marshall wins the ball, and they give a penalty against Gabriel Jesus. Of course they do. Well, unless Melier saves, we lose the Club World Cup in stupid circumstances. Saka versus Melier. Melier, what a save! In the 122nd minute, Saka had a chance to send Arsenal to the winners' podium, and instead, Melier saves and we go into a shootout. Wow. At least they will take the first one. Reyes will be brought on for a pen. Velez will take penalty number 4. Then it will be to run with penalty number 5. Outside of that, does not matter. Well, what a save from Melier. Saka misses a big penalty. He's done that a few times in real life as well. Melier again versus Andreas Sherlock. Melier has saved the penalty in the 122nd and has now saved the penalty in the shootout. First penalty saved by Melier. Elise now gives Ramsdale the eyes and pops it in the bottom bin. After one penalty each, it's 1-0. It's 1-0 Melier. It's 1-0 Leicester. Jesus versus Melier. Gabriel Jesus. Melier. Send the wrong way. That's alright. Up steps Asan, who's a very good penalty taker as well. San steps up, gives Ramsdale the eyes. Oh, that's a penalty and a half. Ramsdale went the right way, but the inside of the post and in, and it's massive. 2-1 after 2 each. Melier versus Havertz. And Havertz goes down the middle. And there we go. This is, look, I'm going to say right now, this is the penalty I'm most worried about is young Reyes. He is world class. Hit it down the middle, son. Just down the middle with power. Oh, no need to be worried. Sends Ramsdale the wrong way. 3-2 after 3 each. Saka just missed one, and Melier just saved one from him. Does Saka miss again, or does he score? Saka, he's missed. He has no bottle. Saka misses in the 122nd, and he hits the woodwork in the shootout. And it's Mr. Jorge Luis Velez, the world's best striker. He took home Champions League Striker of the Year, Golden Striker Awards, you name it. And Velez, the Colombian versus Ramsdale to win us the Club World Cup. And, well, Melier will be man of the match in a pulsating game. But my word, that never should have been 4-4 and a penalty shootout, but enjoy the drama. We led, we dominated, we had massive amounts of XG, Arsenal scoring through deflected efforts lobbing over keepers, etc. And in the end, Saka missed in the 122nd minute, he missed again in the shootout, and Velez will lift the trophy aloft after sending us into raptures by scoring the winning penalty in the Club World Cup final. That is amazing. That is one of the more dramatic finals, and mercifully we've won that one, because if we lost that one I would have just said we're never winning a final again, because we never ever deserve to lose that one today. With that being said, I'm delighted. Congratulations, boys. That was superb. We played very well, and in isolation What I will say, as we get the World Beaters Award for winning the Club World Cup, what I will say is that's not a competition I've won too many times on FM. I really do think that we should have won it easily. And if we go to the team performance, have a look at the utter domination in the first 90. Outside of some key moments, and Arsenal scored in all of them, and the deflected one in a massive period of dominating, we were the better team. And even in extra time, Arsenal had that one moment where they won a penalty, which was dubious. And there we go. Just one of those games that FM, it just felt like FM wanted Arsenal to win. One of those games where they just scored from every moment. They got a penalty that was very, very dubious, that would never get given, I think, in real life. But there we go. That is a Club World Cup 1. I'll see you guys for what will be the league phase and the recap of the first month. And maybe a sale or two, or maybe we might sign someone because we've got 262 mil that we could spend. Here we are, YouTube. End of the month after that pulsating Club World Cup final. We have got the end of the transfer window, the end of the first month, and I waited all the way to deadline day because one of our players that we did sign down to a new contract only before the FA Cup final has left. Skriniar has gone. They made a 5 mil bid. Did Inter to take him home so he could retire at his home club. As you can see, his pace already down to 14 and acceleration down to 13. And I was planning on not using him anyway as much this year, so he didn't renew his contract for next season. So to get 175k off the wage is huge. Now, that does mean that we've had to transfer in another centre-back, and that's what I have done here as well. And I'll talk about Rafael Naldini in a bit. But as you can see here, Alex Scott left for 70. Giuliano, one of the young kids, went for 11. So did Matt Rimmer, who we bought on a free. So that's pretty good profit. In the air, Moore, Naldino both went on loan to Frankfurt. And then a few others in there as well. Most importantly, probably Ivan Ramos, who will one day be the backup goalkeeper, has gone on loan to Lec to perform as well. We've obviously have had some good amount of sales just gone, like Luke Thomas. But let's get into Rafael Naudi. And now, Rafael Naudi is a player that I think everyone knows my type of centre-back. Big, strong, physical. Everything but natural fitness above 15s, a few 17s in there with pace and agility, which means you should be able to keep up with the quickest of strikers and be able to turn and go. And you get certain players, it seems like this year with development, some that develop really, really well early and then just don't develop, like Ricardo Mas, who's 3-star, or Garen Quoll at the start of this save. And you get people just develop a bit more later down the line, like Adam Lynch is actually deciding to develop right now. Alex Scott was doing that till we sold him, was developing his 25, 26. I think Rafael Naudi could be that guy. Has a lot of stats of 13s, couple stats in the 14s, and then a lot of stats 15 plus. Great man marker, 6'4", left-footed, can play as a ball-playing defender on cover as well. So we decided to bring him in. 40 mil is what we paid for him. If he hits his potential, he's world-class. Like, he's a world-class leading Premier League potential footballer. And I think getting him in and playing him week in, week out alongside Tamura is really good. And what that means is Linus and Jose Marshall will again be the backup two centre-backs, and eventually it might be Rafael Naudi and Linus being our best two centre-backs moving forward as well. But obviously a great acquisition. Played in Gendia at Atlanta, played for him in the Serie A and played very well. So, look, I'm very happy that we brought him in. What that means is in the season preview, it's still saying that that Naudi would come in with Tamura, Ricardo and Livramento. That is my new back four. And the game has got it nailed on exactly. In terms of this month, since we last met, pre-season obviously went down without a hitch. Generally does. Borussia Mönchengladbach and us played an 8-5 thriller. We beat United in the Community Shield. We were the better side. Bruno Fernandes scored in the 90th minute to give him some hope. Beat West Ham 2-0. Palace 4-0. Leeds 5-0. Everton 1-0. In probably the worst out of the games that we played was Everton just recently. We did play sensationally well, but no one wanted to finish a chance. Velez hasn't started off in his flying fashion. You know, 3 goals in 4 games is still very good, but considering what you expect from Velez, you expect a little bit more from the world-class striker, maybe. I think one person you want to speak about is Elise. He scored a hat-trick against Leeds and has looked fantastic. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 returns. He gets better with age, this boy, and he's been fantastic as well. So that's the end of the episode in terms of results and recapping and watching the Club World Cup, but you want to know how the league phase looks and well. We got Porto away, who've been decent, but we slapped up at home last year in the Champions League. Followed by Monaco, interesting game in again, but nothing major. Dynamo AZ, buy-in for the a millionth time in a row we get Bayern, and that will be next episode where we will go and play Bayern Munich in the Champions League yet again, so you guys can see us play Bayern, who are one of the best teams in the world. Leipzig, Midtjylland and Sociedad, I think will win every game bar the Bayern game. The Bayern game can go either way depending on what happens. With that being said, that's the end of the episode. Give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've built a very, very, very good squad. We've got a great team. If you look at the star ratings, people are only going to get better. I've moved to 2 covering centre-backs as well this season just to test it out. Bellingham's a massive in, and well, is this good, and has got a goal in 4 matches from the middle of the park, which is not a bad for the midfielder there. And look, outside everything else, everything is fine. People are on new contracts. I love this squad. I think it's going places, and hopefully when we see each other again, we've gone on quite the run in the Prem, but more importantly, a few of these players have developed that little bit more, and they are looking good for the future. With that being said, till next time, thank you and goodbye.